Friends, welcome back to the Messed Up Movies Podcast, a very special episode, an exclusive, if you will, that may not be as exclusive as you think. We are excited today to be joined by our friend, a man who you've heard on this very podcast before. He is back with another exciting project that he wanted to share with all of you, and we are happy to be a part of that. Nathan Sellers, welcome back to the pod.
Thanks for having me.
Okay, so we also have in the studio today Heath and
here.
Sam, right? We got the whole squad here. Nathan, would you like to introduce yourself to the audience? Tell them a little bit about you, where they can find your stuff, and what you are specifically here to promote today.
Yeah, of course. Well, as you said, I'm Nathan Sellers. I am a visual artist, failed skateboarder, and sometimes filmmaker. And I've
You still know how to skateboard, though, don't you?
Yeah, well, my knees, they don't put up with it anymore. So I try.
Feel that.
Yeah, I've made a few films, gone to a few fests, and while doing that, I've found some favorites. And so I put together an online curation of 30 plus shorts that will be streaming July 4th to July 6th. It's called Short Fuse Showcase. And there's a bunch of festival favorites from like Fantastic Fest and Overlook and Fantasia and Toronto International Film Festival, Toronto After Dark, and actually quite a few from Crypt TV. So they'll be helping us promote this week. But yeah, it's an online festival where people don't have to pay. You just have to find the passcode, which will be released on July 2nd. For 24 hours via Crypt TV's Instagram and my own Instagram, which is nbensellers. And yeah, once you have that passcode, you just go to the website and you get to stream 30 plus short films. Again, from all those festivals and Crypt TV, Alter, and more.
Nice.
That's incredible. So what I love about that too, digital code, it's 4th of July weekend. There's a good chance you're doing a lot of traveling. And by the 6th and 5th, you're probably hungover as shit.
Yeah.
Perfect time to be watching short films on your couch. Absolutely, man.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's what I was thinking is like, not many people are traveling. If you are traveling and partying by Sunday, you're just like, okay, I'm in for the night. And then you have something to do. So, yeah.
Absolutely, man. Well, this was, what was your inspiration here? To do this showcase? Because as you said, you had met a lot of these people out at various festivals. What was the idea to bring this all into one collection?
Yeah, I guess, well, this year I turned 40, and it was like a lot of people are like, what are you doing for your 40th? What are you doing? And I've always wanted to kind of put together a curated event. And I used to do it for like the film classes I taught and stuff. We would have our own mini festivals where I would get permission from filmmakers I knew, and we would just curate the hell out of just these projects and just have fun. And I was like, it'd be cool if I was able to do that and it was available to more people. And so for, I guess technically for my 40th, it was just like, let's have fun. And I'm going to pick a lot of my favorites and ask other people if they have any films I haven't seen that I should see, and then just like have fun with this and see how many I can curate. And what was wild was I was like, I'm going to do 12 or 15. And that's what I promoted at first. And then I got over 500 submissions.
Whoa. Whoa. A lot of
and
shorts,
I was like, oh my
Not
goodness.
so short anymore.
Yeah, not so short anymore. And that's the thing too, is like some people are like bold as fuck. And they're like, this is my 40-minute short. And you're like, that's a medium-length movie, my friend. But at the same time, you want to give those people a chance and you want to see what they have. Yeah. So I watched a lot of films, and it's basically me at this point putting it together. And we have a few people that will be judges and stuff like that, but it's primarily me. So I had to go through a lot of us. And again, I saw maybe a third of it, prior, like at Fantasia and at Nightmares and Genre Blast and all these places like that. But there's some new ones that, like from Toronto International Film Festival, that I haven't seen. And it was like a lot of fun. So after going through 500 or so, I just ended up choosing 30. And then maybe last week I was like, well, maybe I'll sprinkle in a few more because there's like two that like I'm just like they need to be seen. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
I think that's the coolest part of the festival is like you have people that like Russell Goldman that just finished his film Sender that played at Chattanooga and actually bigger fests where you know he has distribution. Jamie Lee Curtis is the executive producer.
Oh, damn.
You know he has this backing and he's a very talented filmmaker, incredible. But then you have someone like my friend Julian from Belgium who has this film about pugs, like Pugs, that is totally wacky, totally fucked up, unpredictable. But who's backing him? No one right now. And it's like you want people to see both films, right?
Wait,
You
is
wanna
it?
see-
Hold on a
yeah.
second. Is it a documentary about pugs or is it a narrative? I'm kind
Oh,
of
it's
curious.
a narrative. It is.
How does so?
Very locked in on
So
the
all
plot.
right. So we just watched this. What was the one about the dog we just watched? Indy the dog.
Good boy.
Good Boy, right?
Yeah.
Is it similar to like Good Boy?
No.
Oh.
It is not. And I got
There's a
Super
wide
Boy
dearth
too.
in these dog
I
genres,
enjoyed that.
Sam.
Yeah. A lot of dogs
But
out there.
it's more of like a Lynchian mystery, and it's
Hmm.
you have to tune in to watch because I don't want to spoil anything because once I start sharing one thing, I feel like it starts
It
giving away too
unravels.
much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Julian did this. Julian did this film called Garbage Days that played at Boston Underground, and what happened was the Watcher played my film. The Watcher played there. He greeted me outside, and he's like, "Dude, I'm starting a festival. I want the Watcher to play." And I was like, "Oh, cool." I just thought he was just some guy. And then I was like, "Do you have a film playing?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's playing at this time." And I couldn't make it, and I felt real bad. But that night he sent me the link, and I just like fell over in my chair. It was like one of the best, most unique, so European shorts I've ever seen. And I was like, this guy is like a singular talent. And then when he made this new one, and I knew he loves dogs. And when he's like, "Oh, it's about pugs," I'm like, "Oh my god, this is going to be amazing!" And it closes out one of the last programs. It's such a wild
Yeah.
movie. But anyways, it's cool to be able to showcase people that had really good runs, like Russell Goldman with his film Burnout, and then it's really good to then give like Julian a chance, not a chance, but to like really highlight his talent and his film called Mops Horden is the name of it. It's wild though. It's wild.
So Nathan, I think it's really cool that you decided to do this because we met you at one of our first festivals that we were ever at with our short He Sees All as Genre Blast in 2023, I think.
Yeah,
and
geez.
your short film blew us away, and so that kind of kicked off a friendship. And what is so great about going to these festivals is especially the short sections. Everybody packs into the short sections because you get a lot of bang for your buck.
Yeah.
And just so much innovation, so much creativity, and it doesn't really get the amount of exposure that I think a lot of these movies deserve because, you know, the spotlight is mostly on the features. So
Yeah.
this is really cool that you're doing this, and we've done a lot of shorts ourselves, and I'm really excited to see what you've curated. And I think that kind of segues pretty well into what we want this overall episode to be, which is the festival experience and what we've seen and some of the hidden gems that maybe we can highlight here.
Yeah. And there's something cool about just the festival too, right? Being part of something or curated in something. There's something just extra fun about that versus just tossing it into the void of YouTube or
Yes.
Vimeo or whatever the fuck. And like, please watch my thing. When you're at these festivals and you're with the other like short filmmakers, right?
Yeah.
The way we all just like, we have the same struggles, the same problems, but we
Yeah.
all like have this undying love for it. You're pushing, you're unbound. It's just people talking about making movies and not like necessarily the business of movies, right? Which kind of starts to consume the feature world.
Correct.
So there is just like this pure love of the game thing.
Yeah.
That when you're with your other like peers is so fucking refreshing.
Shorts feel totally different.
Yes.
Shorts feel much more like art
Yeah.
to me.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's all
definitely.
anyone's talking about. No, I've never. I mean, there's been times where people are like, "How did you get funding for that short?" But that's very rare.
Yeah.
Like it's normally the only thing you talk about with a short is the story.
The actual art of the
Yeah.
movie. Yeah. Exactly right. When
And
you
it's
start
kinda
doing
nice.
movies, it's like, what was their opening box office, right? How much
Yeah.
did this and that?
And
That's
then
what I love about
you base
shorts.
everything off of the budget, right?
Yeah.
Like if you watch a movie, you watch like Obsession. It's like it's amazing what they did for $750,000.
Yeah.
And it's like with shorts, no one gives a fuck. It's just like, was the short good?
It's
kind of a pure
just
form.
fucking blow me away,
Yeah.
dude. I'm just here for it.
Exactly.
Give me something wild that I haven't seen before. Just fucking knock my socks off.
Well, and we find, I think, inspiration. I know
Oh yeah.
we have found a lot of inspiration from the shorts that we've seen on the festival circuit that no one else would necessarily see. Not no one else, but you know, it's a limited audience.
It's harder to find it.
It's harder to find, and yeah, sometimes these things end up online, but you know, it's in a sea of everything else. So a really great place to make discoveries is at a film festival because it's more curated, or like what Nathan's doing with this. I know we changed a lot of our approach and strategy to how we started to design our films just because we went to Genre Blast. We saw a lot of crazy movies. We saw Joe Riley's Charlie the Canceled Skeleton was one of we had our movie
Fucking Joe.
We had our movie about a masturbating priest, and we thought, who's going to outdo that? And the next,
you remember when we were just like naive, young, fucking, what was it, 38-year-olds? And we're just like, we were like blue-eyed boys, and we're like, this will fucking get them. And we just went to festivals. You're like, Jesus H, people are out of their minds.
It's like, this is the edge, right? We're at the edge.
Yeah, we thought we were real naughty.
You're nowhere near the edge.
Exactly.
Yes. So this is love what you're doing here, Nathan. This is great.
Yeah.
Cool.
I wanted to make one more point about the festival circuit, right? Is you go to see a short film, right? And then you can literally go talk to the person that made the film.
That's the best thing
like,
at the festival.
Cool is that?
Yeah, that is why the festival experience is so rad.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, it's interesting too, because the first person I spoke to at a film festival outside of, like, say, Massachusetts or something like that was Blake Simon, who did Red Velvet, who later went on to make Faces, and incredible filmmaker. And we're still super close. He's one of my closest, film friends, and it's just a filmmaker. I just like really loved what he did and went up to him, and it was really embarrassing because my film didn't play for like 3 days after it. So everyone's waiting around to see like what Nate made, and I'm like, it's gonna be terrible. And then I didn't sit by anyone. I sat up front and just like looked down, and it was great because after that we like connected and we were able to like talk about talk shop and all that other stuff. But you start really caring for these people, like beyond just like what they make. And you're absolutely right. It's just about the connections you make as a community. It becomes family because a lot of these people start working on your stuff too.
Absolutely.
And it seems like a lot smaller than what you would think it would be, right?
Yes.
The community for independent film, especially at least in Indiana, it seems like everybody knows everybody.
Yeah.
No, it's so true. And I think for me, like, it was a way to connect with the West Coast, which always seems so far off as well.
Yeah.
And
you're
like,
way up there.
Yeah. Way of making stuff. I don't want to sound like that guy, but they do have their own way of making stuff that's a lot different than the Midwest or a lot different than the Northeast. And it's cool to like connect with them and be like, I need some VFX. I know a guy here, but let's see what you can do. And like have that kind of connection where you're able to help each other, even though you're like literally across the country and stuff. So
yeah, for certain.
Yeah.
So what we typically do, if we're not doing a new movie on Monday or a Film Alchemist, what do we call our Wednesday episodes? Do we have that label?
The Abyss.
The Abyss?
I don't know. It's just a cool sounding word.
So usually
it's like it could be like a flavor of a Monster Energy drink.
Gotcha.
That's what we're going for.
So typically, Nathan, what we do on the Messed Up Movies podcast feed is we'll have a new movie that we cover on Monday. Wednesday, Alex and Dandino go into the Abyss and explore a movie from the past. And then on Fridays, we do draft episodes, and we, whatever the theme is, we'll go into the Thunderdome.
And then I beat the shit out of them, and they complain about cheating.
And we
draft.
We draft episodes. So this is kind of, I think, the initial conceit of this episode was that we would do something like a draft. We don't necessarily have to do that, but I think it would be fun if we, open this up and highlighted some of the movies that we've seen at other film festivals. It could be shorts. It could be features. Just anything that, really stood out and deserves a shout out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, you've already mentioned it, and I was laughing because you guys mentioned Joe Riley's short. But when I think of a messed up movie, I think of Charlie the Canceled Skeleton.
Absolutely.
It's unbeatable, and that regard, like being midnight film, messed up movie, really pushing it. And what's so wild is Charlie and The Watcher played at 7 festivals together.
Oh
Wow.
God!
In the same
So
block as 3, which is I
yes,
don't understand, but it's, but like I'm always
those
like,
two
what-
feel like very opposite movies. Because
Absolutely.
completely
when we
different,
were
but
out
it's-
with He Sees All, we
Yeah.
were in every Friday night freak block with Joe. We
Yeah.
were with him on everything across
That makes
the board.
sense though, at least.
Yeah, us and
that
Charlie.
makes so much sense.
Because I remember our first one was Days of the Dead Indie, and we're like, what's this fucking Charlie the canceled skeleton that's opening for us? Right? Like,
Yeah.
we were still like, you know, we were such fucking dipshits who knew nothing. And
Yeah.
we like saw this movie, and I was like, all right, what the fuck is this? What is it, an infomercial?
All right,
What's
guys.
that? And then as it starts to go, you're just like, Jesus Christ. And Joe's one of those guys who we've met through the festivals and, you know, have kept in touch with. He's one of my favorite festival memories is we're at Genre Blast and we were at like we were going into like the 10 p.m. midnight movie, whatever. And if you've done one of these festivals, it's kind of, we talk about it like it's like summer camp, but you get fucking hammered the whole time. So we're like pretty drunk, right? And it's me, and I'm sitting at the bar and I'm closing my tab out because this is the last movie. And I remember being like, oh my God, I've spent $120 on booze. And Joe goes, my tab's over 100 too. And I was like, I haven't seen you have any drinks. And he goes, no, it's just popcorn and snacks. And I thought about that comment every time I've been in a movie theater.
Was Joe the guy that was buying ice cream over and over?
Yeah, you kept fucking buying ice cream bowls and shit.
All right, so I've heard about this dude.
But he is like the nicest, sweetest, like you would
He is
never
such a
expect.
sweetheart.
You meet that guy and then you see his movie and you're like, how does that happen?
But-
Well, dude, it usually happens like that.
No, you
actually.
go first. I have a Joe story
So
after.
actually, before we get into the Joe story, so Joe Riley. All right, for the people out there like me that have not seen
Yeah.
the canceled skeleton,
I think
what's
is it
called?
on
Oh, yeah.
Trauma now? Is that on
It was
Trauma
on
now?
Trauma, yeah. So this
Okay.
was the one because my brother and my high school best friend came with us. This was the movie they could not stop talking about
Really?
forever. And they kept asking me all the time, where can I find this? I was like, I don't fucking know. I'll just ask Joe, and I just never did. But that was the one they left the festival and could not stop laughing and talking about.
So wait, so they got a Trauma deal out of this?
It is like on their
Something like
streaming
that?
service, yeah.
Okay, so
It
that's
might be on YouTube now. We should have probably looked into this.
It
a
might
little
be
bit.
now, but yeah.
Yeah.
So
Let people watch it.
it's hard to explain that movie. Nathan, I don't know if you want to take a crack at.
Yeah, can you give me like a 10-second overview of the plot?
Essentially, it's a like guy who's trying to cancel things. He works at like the MPAA or something. He's like a Hollywood guy. He's like, we're gonna cancel everything. And we're gonna cancel this Charlie movie, and then the skeleton comes for him. Is the closest I can get to it. That'll never do it justice.
Okay.
Yeah, it's the idea though of censoring just to censor, and
Yeah.
it's like he's this like ultra woke. It's not this idea of appropriation or like anything that like really makes sense when it comes to like progressive thought and cinema. It's overboard. And Joe's all about that. You know what I mean? He's such a centralist when it comes to a lot of this stuff.
Mhm.
And we've actually had arguments online because of this stuff. But
Oh,
when
Joe
it
loves
comes-
to fucking throw bombs out on
never talk about that stuff with friends. But the idea of this guy who's canceling this, but he's just so delighted from it. But what happens
Yes.
is that what the skeleton does to these characters in this movie, which is like put his finger up these people's
It's
butts.
the tingler, yeah, the butthole tingler.
The tingler.
Yeah, that's right.
He
So the
does it
skeleton
to
does
guy
the
who
tingler, which is
canceled him.
jam his finger up people's asses.
Yeah.
And that's how he decides if he wants to censor it.
You
Yeah,
just
well-
have to see it.
Okay.
You have to.
I'll have
There's
to
no
watch it.
way Will
Okay.
describe it. You have to find it. Yeah.
I think the whole idea is it's about like internet culture and fake outrage and
Okay.
Yeah.
censoring. But the cool thing is it's like it's fearless and it really splits an audience in the way of there's people who understand what he's doing, the satire, and are just laughing. Then other people looking around deciding, is it okay to laugh because
That's
they
right.
want to,
Yeah.
and they can't hold it in
Yeah.
because it's so far out there. But my Joe story is during the awards at Genre Blast. I didn't get to see this because I was up front with my friend Kaylin and my other friend Elizabeth, but he was sitting next to Blake and Jared, and he's like, guys, when it came up to like best midnight movie, he's like, guys, I don't care about awards. This kind of stuff means nothing. And then they announce his name, and he jumps up. Like,
Dude, he ran up. Yeah.
And then he shows his butthole, remember? And everyone's like,
no.
show your asshole. Show your asshole.
Oh, it's a great moment.
Down and shows
Hey,
his,
man.
and they have a picture of it on their site. And I think it's even on the
We're
Film
trying to get people to go to
Freeway
these
genre
festivals,
blast.
though.
But anyways, I think,
He's so ridiculous. I remember just having drinks with him, and he just walked me through a long explanation of how he molded his own butthole for that.
Oh my god!
Yeah, he's fucking
So
hilarious.
that's part of the plot. Then.
Well, we were there
Okay.
at that genre blast. We were in the Friday night Q&A, and it was one of those, like, it got that weird reaction.
Yeah.
And so Joe was up there with us at the Q&A, and I was like, oh, like, he acted like he was squirming. I was like, dude, that's a great reaction.
Yeah.
You want to make a short that, like, gets that out of people, right?
At least they're
You know,
thinking
like,
about it. Yeah.
Dude, it was great.
But-
He's the
but,
fucking
like,
best. I love Joe.
I think with like art, it's like it's always a conversation of like, what can you show, what can't you show, right?
Yeah.
And then like the film challenges it in a way that I think starts a conversation, so it's good.
Yeah.
So even if you don't fully agree with the messaging or what you like see, it actually starts a conversation, which I think is what people should be having around.
Yeah,
this.
what a novel idea,
Yeah,
right?
and
Let's talk about
it's awesome. But talking about like gross out movies, have you guys seen Banjo?
No.
Oh, I have seen Banjo.
You have
Banjo is
seen it?
wild. Banjo, that is. You guys should watch that. I can't believe
Yeah.
I haven't sent that
Cameron
out.
Paletti.
Yes,
Yeah,
I've seen it.
well, what's wild about Banjo, and so it's about a guy who's going to lose his virginity, and his friends get him this cabin in the woods, a classic horror setup, and they're like, broing out, being like, "Man, you got this! Like, we're here for you. It's gonna be fine." And then when it happens, everything goes wrong, and let's just say it's like Evil Dead blood mess.
Yes.
Yeah, it goes into a circumcision cult that takes
yes.
this horrific satanic turn. And it all stems from this guy sincerely loving his girlfriend, trying to do the best he can, and it breaking off. It's insane.
Sounds
And-
crazy.
And,
What's it got to do with the banjo, though?
Okay,
Well,
so
it's broken
Banjo is a euphemism for
Was
this
it?
situation that he finds himself in. I don't know that I'm the
Like the
right
kids
person
come
to-
up with it, or
Well,
These kids and their
apparently it's
phrases.
based on his own trauma. I don't know how great it was, like that happened to him, but he literally made this film out of something that was embarrassing that he didn't want to tell anyone about.
oh,
So
he told the whole world about it.
Yeah, and so
Yeah,
that's what
nice.
that's what you do with art.
yeah,
But the thing is, like, it is the writing of it. You feel like you're watching like the whitest kids you know skit.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Fucking,
It's like-
dude,
it's
one of
that
my
sharp.
favorite shows.
so it's a little bit like Unreal, but also super real.
Yeah,
That
well,
shit.
I would. It's more like it leans into more like the B horror kind of like I don't want to call it Evil Dead B horror, but like it's kind of like that Evil Dead kind of vibe of like the blood just like spraying out. And
Yeah.
out. It's
Over the
it's
top.
wild. It's so over the top. But the coolest thing was I wasn't even supposed to see it because I was at Boston Underground. I think 2024 maybe. It was with Methuselah, and it was during Methuselah, my film's block. But what happened is that was actually supposed to be for the midnight showing, but the guy who put together the block stuck it in right in the middle by accident.
Oh no.
So we're watching all this like really like atmospheric, serious kind of like.
What a great palate cleanser.
I know, like I don't want to be like what do they call it? Not the kind of horror like
Elevated horror.
elevated
Yeah.
horror, like that's the
Elevated
kind of
horror, yeah.
vibe of everything. It's this
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
elevated horror, and then right in the middle of it is Banjo, and everyone loses their minds because it's like what they needed to like kind of like
Yeah.
get attention, and it was
Mhm.
wild. And then after that, Chris Halleck, the programmer was like, "You guys weren't supposed to see that."
It was a
It was-
mishap.
Yeah, and it was wild. Everyone loved it, and it was the most I've heard anyone laugh in a theater at a festival.
Dude.
And
Banjo
it's-
is a riot. I saw it online
I wanna watch it.
somehow. I think it is probably on YouTube because if I've seen it, then
Yeah.
I'm guessing everybody else can, but yeah,
Okay.
I highly recommend that one.
So that made me
Banjo.
think of, there was one we saw at Genre Blast that was my favorite short that year we went. And it was, this is my problem with the fest, is I forget the titles. I remember the shorts. I can never fucking remember the titles of anything because it just appears in a block, right? You kind of get washed over these. But there's this one at Genre Blast about a guy whose dad's truck gets stolen.
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
It's not called,
I
that was in
remember
our
that.
block.
I can't remember what it's called, but this guy, the dad gets his truck stolen, and the guy has to go get it because this cult steals trucks. Right. And then as he goes on this kind of like, it's almost like a half a Mandy, right? Where he's going to go back and get this truck. And so he starts whipping people's ass to go get his dad's truck back.
Right.
Come to find out, there's an insane reveal at the end that this is like essentially a cult that steals trucks to have sex with them.
They love, they love the exhaust pipes, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Well, they kind of fuck all of it, right? There's a lot of ways. I don't know if you've seen the My Strange Addiction of the guy. He slides under the front and kisses the front bumper. He's like, I love you, car. So there's a lot of ways you can have sex with a car. But the movie kind of gets into it, and it's just this blood soak. And again, it just so captured to me. Genre Blast has my heart. It's one of my favorite festivals.
What was the name of that?
It's just this, here's an idea that looks like something you've seen a bunch of times, right? Yeah. And then you just give it to these filmmakers that take it and kind of recombine and configure things to where it becomes so fucking bizarre and outlandish, but still feels very real. And that's what I love about the shorts. You just kind of pull these, if you're making that as a movie, there'd be all these notes and you got to do this. And as a short film, you just let it fucking rip with whatever. I was trying to Google it.
It's uninhibited. That's what's so good about these.
Yes, uninhibited.
That they're the best shorts that play aren't the ones that are trying to impress Hollywood. They're the shorts that are just doing this one thing and doing it great and not caring about how it lands.
And that one specifically, Griffey, I can't remember the name of it. Are you looking it up?
I'm messaging someone right now to see if they can help me because I want to shout it out so bad. I loved it.
We should shout that out because they did. Not only was the whole concept great, but like the entire lead up to it was like
it was very trauma.
It was very trauma, but like the dialogue they had, it was like 1950s proper. Like the dude like walked into the room and he's like, "Hello, little lady, what's going on?"
Yeah, it was just so weird.
It was just so weird, and I wish we knew the name of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have thought, Nathan?
No, like what I was gonna say though is I forget the title of it, but like films like that have such a vibe, which like you have to work so hard at to put in a feature for all the reasons we're talking about, not just like from studios, but with pacing and balancing your story.
It's so hard.
It's so hard, and like proof of concept shorts are like great, you know what I mean? But sometimes I feel like they're missing what a short film can be. And I think one of you already said is like it's art, it's you're truly able to express yourself in such a small amount of time in such an impactful way often. And I think that's why I love short so much. And one film too that I thought was just brilliant is it takes like kind of the Saw concept and it becomes comedic, and that's Rhyme or Die, which played at Genre Blast the same year that we did. Did you guys ever see that?
I saw that one. Yeah, that was a great one. That was the one where they put the shot collars on the people and they have to rap battle.
Yeah, or they're different murder devices. Like so, it's not just shot collars.
It's not just shot collars.
There's one with like a screw that goes through the neck. There's one that completely takes it off. But that's playing at short fuse as well, because like Max, I think is this. He's such a prolific filmmaker. He made another film called Bag for Life that shot on 8mm film, I think. And that's playing at my fest too. And it's just this bag, this recycled bag that follows this guy home and wants him all for himself. So he starts like murdering his girlfriend. and it's just like this bag. It's so
it's the American Beauty scene with murder.
It's like that, but it's just like taking people up. And it's so
American Beauty meets Rubber.
Basically. But his film Rhyme or Die is so well executed, it's so well acted, and it's funny, and it's shocking, and it's graphic. And I feel like with that film, a concept like that could have been made into a feature, but it hits a lot harder, and it like, I don't know, it's like, I like it in the little bite size that it is. And it's one of my favorites because like the whole concept is, these strangers wake up, they're in a warehouse, there's a woman who's deranged, she's a DJ, she's going to be playing a beat. You have to rap a line and then it goes off to the person next to you, and if you can't think of the rhyme, you're dead. And then there's a professional rapper there, there's a street rapper there, there's other people who have no clue how to rap. And so like you're just sweating for these people you just met 30 seconds ago, and you're just like you're picking who you think is going to win or what the twist is going to be.
Yeah.
But he does something different at the end anyways. And so like it's a really messed up movie, but it's very smart, very funny. And the actress that I just looked up her name yesterday, that plays the deranged DJ, is just phenomenal.
Yeah,
it's like
I do remember her being awesome.
Performances. Yeah,
she's like up on the stage with all the. That's where they spend all the money, right? With the effects of what's behind her and all that.
Yes, yeah.
Dude, she was great, man.
Can I shout out another one that I really loved? So there's obviously this, strain that we fall into, kind of the more like extreme. We really want those big reaction kind of movies, right? The midnight freak shows is we're always a part of.
Yeah.
I also like at these festivals when you get the people that are making kind of like more traditional horror stories, right?
Yeah.
And it feels so weird sometimes at festivals, and it's like, that's not what we're here to do. And it's refreshing and nice. One that really blew me away, a guy that we absolutely love, Raphael
DeLeon,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He is such a wonderful guy. Like, if you ever meet him at a festival, just one of the, like, nicest, best human beings you'll ever meet.
I'll
Great
be
for a
seeing
chat.
his short film Vowels once again.
That's right. It was called Vowels.
So that's the
right?
one I wanted to shout out. It's about a girl who's having trouble with her speech.
It's playing at Hysteria Fest coming up in a couple weeks.
Yeah, dude. And the ending of it, but that's what I love about Raphael's is he does these kind of, they're almost folklorish tales.
Yes.
Right, where it's small and it's contained, but he's so good at creating like real terror atmosphere.
Yeah.
And the ending of it pays off. And it's a short that in my brain, I was like, that's not really the kind of shorts I'm ever looking for. But I was just so captivated by that. The concept was just tight and strong. And then the end, right, where she fixes herself so she can finally speak free. It's one of those, like, so rarely do you see in these shorts, right? A lot of them have these big punchy moments, whatever. But it's one of those that ended. It's just like this perfect last visual that really was captivating and blew me away. Raphael makes very interesting films. And again, that's the beauty of the fest. You get to go see that. And you're like, that's not a movie I would ever have thought of or seemingly would not get my attention. You see it in the fest, and then you get to go talk to him. You're like, what a fucking lovely man. I wish him all the great things in life. And it bonds these shorts to you in a way that you don't get with a lot of movies, right? Because you now have extra rooting interest in these filmmakers and their stories and their voices. Yeah.
For sure.
No, I hear that. There's a lot out there right now. Like, I know there's a company or a production company called Heebie Jeebies, and they release a lot of like your what you would expect from a feature, but it somehow working in a short. Like, they had a film Tapestry that played at Fantastic Fest, and it's been playing a lot of places, Stitches, and I think even Overlook. But Tapestry is like another example of a film you're like, oh, a mother lost her child and wants her kid back, and now is going to, use black magic to get it. Like, I know this film, but then it's completely different, right? It's something you haven't seen before, and the twist is like, whoa. And I agree with you. And there's even a film called Amira, which played at at Film Quest, that was recommended to me to watch for short fuse. And it's one of those films where, like, how is this guy not making like $5 million horror films? Because the concept is so strong, the visuals, and it's not like punchy or, it's not a setup kind of film, 1, 2, here's the punch. It's just, it's immersive, and you feel like it should be a feature. And I agree. I love being surprised by those kind of films too. There's people who really make them really, really well.
Another great example, another set of genre blast brothers, literally, the Barber Brothers, right? We went in and saw the first genre blast. We were there. They're kind of all over the place. They do great fucking work. But right up Sam's alley.
Their MO, it's exclusively historical.
They do a historical horror piece, right? The two Barber brothers. And again, that's something that's just not my bag normally, but we went to Genre Blast and saw their movie Semper Avanti, I think it's called. And it's essentially about Vietnam tunnel rats, right? And so it's so cool. They're in these tunnels the whole time, and then it turns into this kind of the descent thing, right? There's creatures in the tunnel with them. And it's one of those, you just are like, God, how do you even think of that? How do you make that? And sitting in the, lobby having drinks with them and talking about how they built this fucking tunnel rig and the, problems of shooting in a tunnel. And it's like, you did all that, just with the two of you guys? It's so mind-blowing, the scope that some of these filmmakers go for too in shorts. Yeah. That also will blow you away, right? It's not always just guys in their living room, chit-chatting. Like, you can really go for it in these shorts.
It's so inspiring.
Yeah, it really is. And just focusing again on how it's just two of them. It's not two of them and then they get, the gaffer or they go get a sound guy. It's literally just two of them the whole time. Yeah. And it just blows my mind. Even their latest one, their folktale horror that just came out.
Ito, something like that.
Or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so good too. And it was cool because I think it was after, because I produced a short film called The Thaw, which is black and white, and it's a folktale, and it's kind of what you kind of expect from that genre. And I was really surprised with what they did with their own movie. And they're very creative guys, and you can tell like Spielberg and some old school filmmakers, not old school, but 70s kind of horror filmmakers really influence their work. And they're the real deal. They're
they are. Every time I see one of their shorts, I'm just like, Jesus Christ. Like, I feel like a lot of people, and this was a nice thing going out to festivals when we were starting, is like, make shorts as small as you can.
Yes.
Nothing, right? Like that kind of old film school edict, right? That Rebel with a Crew or whatever. Yeah, small. And you saw these guys just making big fucking production value shorts on budget, right? And to Heath's point, just very, very inspiring work.
Well, sorry, Heath, were you going to say something? Sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead. Well, the only thing I was going to jump in was to gas you up a little bit, Nathan. On the flip side, because I think he really did that with his movie, The Watcher.
So, Nathan, not to just, suck you off because you're on the show. I will say without a doubt, The Watcher is the best short I've ever seen at a festival. But it's my absolute favorite.
It has that, feels like it comes from a point of view that is bigger than what the canvas is. Like there's more on the edges than you can see. And what's so great about that film is how much mileage you get out of just the audio.
Yes.
And just like how you can do that. Like anybody who wants to be a filmmaker, and especially if you're inspired by like the A24 and the elevated horror, whatever has become derogatory, but just like, you want a little bit more artistry imbued into your horror stories.
The visual language that you employed in the film and just the way you used all the tools. I remember just being blown away. Just like, my God, like sometimes I think short films you watch, you feel the pull of the limitations. Yeah. And The Watcher just had none of that. It felt like I was watching like a fucking big studio movie.
What I feel
just
about,
in this condensed, beautiful little package.
The thing I feel about short films is I feel like a lot.
The director sucked, but other than that, it was good.
The director. I didn't see your film at a festival, but the thing that I notice about short films is a lot of times they are like constraints of their time. People are trying to imitate what they've seen recently, or trying to put forth like a new niche modern idea, right? Yeah. And The Watcher is just like a human story.
Yes.
Right?
And that's where all the best horror happens,
right?
To me.
And I think that's a big part of it those are the best short films when they transcend that and they can be just a very simple story about just like a human emotion or something like that.
Absolutely.
And that adds to the horror because it feels more real.
Do you want to tell people? Can we do a little spoiler alert about The Watcher?
Can I do one more crazy just compliment to you? The amount of run you get, and especially playing at the festivals we were at where I saw Watcher, it's insane how still and quiet and calm that is for like a genre festival.
Yeah.
Yet still so wildly effective. That I think is the real magic you pulled off.
It's like the opposite of banjo, right?
Yeah, it's the exact opposite.
It's a palate cleanser, but in a different way.
Yeah, true.
You want to tell people a little bit about what it? Because I thought the story was fucking cool, man.
Oh,
or the idea for the short.
Yeah. So I just saw a lot of films about cults, and we kind of see what happens within the walls of these communities, and we see the betrayal and just the wolf and the sheep, and we kind of know where it's leading.
Yeah.
But I always had this question of like, what happens to those who are left behind? Because when I listen to podcasts or read a book, you often realize, even if it's something like Heaven's Gate, they still have members.
Yeah,
There's
the people
members
that
still
left.
There are still
waiting.
active members right now.
There's members of Heaven's Gate, which is insane. And so it's like,
It
what
is
going?
insane.
It's like, what's happening within, what has brought him to that place? And so with The Watcher, I was like, what would a day in a life look like for someone who's waiting for the resurrection of the sisters and of their leader?
Great concept.
And the idea of preparation, the time and the effort she puts into welcoming them back, but then they don't come back.
They don't come back.
Yeah.
They don't like.
And then what do you do?
What do you do from there? And so, so it came from my interest of cults.
You go work at Walmart.
And especially at that time, like 2020, like during the pandemic, especially, like a lot of the Netflix documentary series and a lot of like the horror stuff you saw on Shudder from 2020 to 2023 was a lot of like cult themed. And so I was just, it started with a question. I kind of wrote out a feature, and that was sort of the beginning of the feature. And I just kind of wanted to shoot it in a way of just like, would this work, as an opener? And so that's kind of the idea behind it. And finding an actress like Sandrine Morin was great, because she does so much with her body language, and there's not a lot of dialogue. There's nothing. The first thing she says is French, because she's a French Canadian actress, and when she's trying to communicate with the emergency operator. But anyways, it came from a question. I got lucky with a great actress, and then it was just like 4 of us in a house with Black Magic pocket cinema cameras, and we just were like, we have 36 hours to do this. Let's hit the ground running.
People might want to know 4K or 6K, bro.
2 shots are in 6K. Everything else is in 4K.
Okay.
I'm so glad we cleared that up.
I mean, just in case someone else.
Look at that bad boy. There we go. Yeah, put that back up. We need to get that on camera. Let's go.
Let's get a close up. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah. So we shot it like that. What's funny is the last shot is the shot everyone, not everyone. This sounds so dickish. It's a shot that people.
We set you up for this. It's not pretentious.
No. But what's so funny about the last shot of the film, which is 6K, is we arrived at the place and the sun was setting, and there was the trees, and I was just like, Sandrine, get in costume now, get in wardrobe, and she's like, smart. Really? And I was like,
it's the golden hour.
Go!
And then it was just setting up the camera, and then I was with with Chris RAD, and he's like, "Are we seriously shooting now?" And I was like, "Where are the SD cards, man? We're shooting." Yeah. But and when you watch it, you want it to feel kind of serene and just transcendent, and just kind of you can take a breath. But behind the camera is all of us trying to rush to get this one shot before we lose it. And so it was a fun project, and that was so nice of you guys to say what you did about it. And it was a good one.
Amen.
I do have one more that I'd love to shout out. So someone mentioned, I think it was you, Nathan, mentioned a film that was shot on 8mm. And so one of the benefits of doing a short film is that you can experiment with other formats. Yes. And so when we were at Genre Blast last time, a lot of these are coming from Genre. I swear we've been to other festivals.
Yeah, we've done other fests, guys. Yeah, swear to God. But we're not getting paid nothing.
So we have friends, Jake Lazarow and Greta.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and
awesome.
Not Thunberg. What's her?
We are not
Guthrie.
friends with Greta Thunberg.
Greta Guthrie. Yeah.
And we met them in Atlanta, and because they were in a similar block with us, and they had a short film about teeth falling out.
Yeah,
or whatever. Like,
we had
There's a
sugar
lot of
tits in
teeth.
Atlanta, and we got programmed in a block where there were 3 to 4 shorts, all with the exact same tooth rip.
yeah.
And
aesthetic.
honestly, her teeth was better than ours.
Yeah, and we all talked about, we all did it pretty much the same way. It's like, I think this is just how you rip teeth. So it's cool. We bonded over being the tooth people.
Right. But so we met them there and they couldn't have been nicer. And it's so great when you meet people and then you see them later at a different festival. And so we connected with them again down the road at maybe a year later at Genre Blast. And they had their new movie Housewife in, which is a short. And they said basically the impetus of it was that they had a connection with their director of photography who had some 35 millimeter film laying around and was like, hey, let's shoot something. So they developed this with I think a local artist that had this character housewife, and it's basically a doll's house on a 50s style housewife woman's body. So her head is a doll.
Her head is a dollhouse.
Have you guys seen this? Did you see it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
fantastic.
playing at Short Fuse. It's part of
It
our.
is. Great, perfect.
There you go.
Nice,
So
dude.
if you watch, if you go and get the code and you go and watch the Short Fuse Festival, I highly recommend checking out this movie Housewife.
What's it called again? Oh, Housewife.
It's so, and of course, seeing it on the big screen was quite an experience too. I didn't know what to expect, and you want to like the movies that you meet people and you like them.
You
want to
really
like their
bond with
movies.
it. That's what I'm telling you. That extra, like, you just fall in love with these people and you root for them so hard.
But it's a nervous feeling because it's like, oh, what if I don't like it?
What if you don't like it?
Yeah, that always
Dude, I
happens.
remember talking to her afterwards, and I was like, "Thank God your movie was good."
It was so good. I mean, it was, and I had this feeling when I watched The Watcher, and then a couple years later at Genre Blast, I had this feeling again when I saw Housewife. Talk about Lynchian. Everybody throws Lynchian around.
Yeah.
They really nailed it on this, and part of that's maybe the film aesthetic, but it's the way they design it, the audio, the surrealism of it. It's really creepy, and I can't even explain why. It just gets into your psyche.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know, like 8 minutes, something like that.
I actually have one more to shout out too while we're on the subject. So something else I love is the way we all connect at festivals and other filmmakers are helping. And we met this guy, Jamal Hodges, right?
Yeah.
And he hit us up with let me put you on some game. And was trying to help us out in our journey. We were just starting out, right? We were out with our first short. I didn't even see what he had made, right? He was just a guy I met at the bar. He's like, let's put you on some game. And he was talking to us about how to utilize socials when you're at festivals and all this kind of like good, knowledgeable shit. And I was like, right on, man. What a fucking run he's had, right? So he was just at the Oscars with a movie that he worked on, a short.
Which one?
Right? So I was seeing pictures of this guy I met that, we're buddies now on social media. He was at the Oscars, and I was like, holy shit. We saw him again at Genre Blast again, and he has this short called Take It to the Grave.
Yeah.
Which is one of the fucking absolute funniest short films I've ever seen about a one night stand that goes horrifically, disgustingly wrong. And it's so good because we talked to him, he's like such a serious guy. And then to see this like absolutely uproarious fucking comedy, I just wanted to shout that one out too. Take It to the Grave.
Well, yeah.
You will fucking die laughing.
All right.
Well, what's so funny about that is I'm looking at my chicken coop right now, and I remember Jamal telling me beat for beat that entire short script.
Yes.
And being like, okay, the guy who did, like, he's done some pretty creepy movies. He's done some really poetic experimental films. Like he has a really great poetry type film. And so I was like, how is this guy going to make this gross out gag type of like dark comedy? And it's a great film. He did an incredible job on it. He's just a great director. I think he knows not how to move the camera, but when to move the camera. And I think that's what makes all of his films just work,
He's
no
in tune with the audience and the expectations of what you want to.
Exactly. And I think he kind of just has it. He writes poetry. He writes
he's always writing stuff. He's
short stories. And so I think he understands beats and pacing and then when to move the camera in such a way that makes all this stuff work. And I Take It to Your Grave, or Take It to the Grave, is a really good short, and I agree. He's working on a feature. I don't think I can talk about it, but I'm doing the pitch deck for it, and it's like far out. It is a big movie, and so I'm excited to see what he does with that. But yeah,
well, it's always cool to see your friends who you meet doing shorts like going into features. And it's always exciting, man. You're rooting for the voices that you see in those little ones, and you're like, God, if they can pull this off in like a feature movie, they're going to be made. Like when we saw Live Screamers for the first time, right?
Oh yeah,
Michelle Iantuano. That was one of those movies I was like, video game survival horror. I was like, that's like 5 red flags I'm not interested in immediately. That's just a genre that doesn't seem to produce a lot of great movies.
Is that how you say her name, by the way?
Yes.
Ian Tawano?
Yes.
Oh, damn. Okay.
Yeah, and so we've had her
Sorry
on the
about that.
pod. We've become very good friends with her. She's like one of the favorite people whenever we see her
She's
anywhere.
amazing.
She's so
She's
great.
an
And
awesome,
again, it's one of those just a filmmaker who achieves so fucking much because of her incredible skill with Unreal Engine and also just an incredible writer.
Great screenwriter.
So it's just like a movie that I was like, there's no way I'll fucking like this movie. We didn't even want to go. And I was finally like, fine. I was hungover. I was like, at least there's air conditioning. It just was like gobsmacked. Like fucking blew me away how fucking wild
Well,
Blind
dude,
Screamers
she's
is.
the type of director, too, that you meet, or producer, or whatever the heck she is.
She's everything. That's
She's
the other
everything.
trick
Yeah.
with a
Well,
lot of these
that's
people.
the
They
other
do
thing is, like,
everything.
you talk to her, and like I wanted to talk to her about the movie and everything, and then for some reason we just started getting into like Blu-ray replication. So like she has her hands in like everything.
She's she's an entrepreneur.
She's an entrepreneur
through and through, and she
Video
really
games,
studies
movies,
every aspect
replication.
of it. Just that's I always cozy up to her because I know she's going to teach me something about even not just filmmaking, about the broader business of filmmaking.
Dude,
Which is
she's
very
amazing,
cool.
and she's young, isn't she? Or should I not say that?
I don't know. We're young as shit.
She
That's
seems
all I
young.
know. Yeah.
I should say she's.
We're all young spring
Dude,
chickens.
we're young as shit. What are you talking about?
young
We're just breaking into this industry, man.
Another great feature that I wanted to shout out because it's probably my favorite feature I've ever seen at a festival. The Man with the Black Umbrella.
Oh god.
Found footage nightmare.
Oh, my God.
That movie fucking rips. It's one of the first things I'd ever seen at a festival that I came home and we're scrolling Amazon. My kids are getting into horror movies now, and they're like, let's watch it. And he loves found footage, my son, which has never been my favorite thing. And I was like, well, I saw a pretty good one. I don't know if I can find it. It was on Amazon to rent.
Yeah.
And so I showed him Man with the Black Umbrella. And dude, it fucking scared the shit out of my kids. And my wife was like, you were in a festival with this movie? And I was like, yeah, fucking mind-blowing, right?
It didn't make any sense.
She didn't mean it to sound that way, but I was like, I hear exactly what you're saying, and I agree.
And you know he shot that on his iPhone.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
So the thing that blew my mind about the Black Umbrella was it made me rethink editing in a way, especially in editing in found footage. Yeah, because the way that he held the shots, he held these shots for so fucking long, and it was so creepy. Like, he just had a shot of a porch.
So that made it feel more real.
It made it feel super real, like you're just watching someone's home video, or like their defense video. What do you call that?
Yeah,
Ring doorbell?
Ricky
Ricky Umberger, dude. Yeah.
Another great guy who also was like very generous in trying to like teach us and
Dude,
help
and
us
he
out.
proves that you don't need a fancy camera. You don't need fancy effects.
Nope.
You just need a good story. And that's the thing that we've all known since the beginning, right? You just need a good story.
Yep.
And he reinforced that in me, and thank you so much, dude. The Black Umbrella.
Yeah, he also did Project Eerie, which played
he did,
Blast 2023, and then he had a trilogy before that, right? The found footage trilogy.
Yeah, and he's gonna do tons of cool shit after this, probably.
Yeah, I just remember running into him after Project Eerie. Like, I was sitting right in front of him during the screening of Project Eerie, which was like I guess it was the premiere at Genre Blast or whatever. And like him looking around and like absorbing everything. And sometimes people would laugh because there were laughable moments in a way of cutting the tension, because you kind of have
you
to.
have to,
stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he looked like so gleeful and happy that people were laughing. He wasn't like, what the hell? This is a horror.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
He didn't care. You could take that movie for whatever it was. And then he went on to win one of the big awards at the festival, literally that night, I think.
That's right.
Did Black Umbrella win
really
Best?
Cool.
I think it won.
It must have won, right?
It won something.
Yeah, it won something.
Yeah, no, and he's and I think I was talking to him too on Messenger once, and he was talking about the new one, which is the film we're talking about, The Man with the Black Umbrella, and he's like, "I'm just trying to get it done for Genre Blast," and I was like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
"Okay,
He got
man,
it done.
yeah, he got it
Spoiler
done."
alert, he got it done.
Which is, I think for me, there's two films I want to mention, and then I can be done. I can tap out. But one is a film that I think the three of you would love called Writer's Block. I don't know if you
Oh,
saw it.
I've
think
heard of this
No,
one.
I've seen this. I think I saw it at Chicago.
Yeah, I bet you saw it at Chicago. It played there. Stephen Schloss is like one of my best friends. He was actually the DP on my latest film, How the Lonely Keep. And the cool thing about Writer's Block was he directed it and shot it and edited it. But the thing is, he's a professional cinematographer. So the editing and the shots and the decisions he makes with the camera for like an 8-minute short is bananas. Like it's
for
so
sure. It looks
he does
great.
this spinorama shot within the film that you're just like, how did he do that other than just, obviously tracks, but just the movement. It's just he's on another level, and I think his film Gimme got a lot of love. And then, like I said, I was like oh, this might have been off the recording, but I helped write or I wrote the feature for him, Gimme, as well. And he's a filmmaker that I think everyone should just kind of lean into and just try to discover, just find, because he's always thinking a bit ahead on the way of like what the audience is expecting to see and then what he wants you to see. And he's always playing around with that. And I think Writer's Block is a film that is shocking, it's violent, it's messed up. It's about a guy who is in this prison cell. He's literally in a block, prison block, and he basically has to write whatever people give him, like prompts. And if it's something they don't like, he has to mutilate himself. And that's with like knives and chains and drills and like everything like that. And it's this such a raw interpretation of like what the artist's journey is, and this way of like people telling you what you should be doing, and then when you try to be producing quality work, most of the time you're shooting yourself in the foot because it's not what you want to do. And it's
You
like
have
this
to
huge
lose a little bit of yourself.
self, exactly.
Yeah.
And
So it's like a big metaphor.
it's a huge metaphor. And this
Ah.
idea of writer's block, of just writing all the prompts, or even if you generated like, AI, what should my next script be? It's like
Yeah.
trying to generate a story from what AI gives you. It's like the film hits so hard. It's such a it's he calls it metal. It's such a metal movie, but that's something worth checking out. It's on Crypt TV. We are showing it for short fuse. But there's another film that played at Toronto International Film Festival by Edith Zorish, and it's called Mothers and Monsters. And I think that might be my favorite short I've seen in a very long time, if not ever. And it's this film that you can call it Lynchian in a way, but it looks at motherhood and this like really, I don't want to say deranged, but in a challenging way, where you have all these mothers or people waiting for their baby all around this table. They're all dressed up. It looks like it's the 1960s, and they're presented with this meal, and they start kind of doing these habitual like cult rituals and rhythm, like stomping their feet and making squealy noises, while their children they already have are playing video games that are made out of these Cronenberg like PS4 remotes, and it's linked up to this fucked up television. And there, what you realize is it's not a meal that's going to be presented to them; it's going to be their babies, and it comes from this factory. And then you like see like this, these cabbages rolling down, and it's like literally Cabbage Patch Kids kind of style, and it's just like every decision is it's so bold. Like the movie is amazing, and it's called Mothers and Monsters, and it's one of my favorites. I don't want to give away too much, but it's shot I think on 16 millimeter film. It's beautiful. It's one of the most best looking films I've seen, just a period, and it's something really worth checking out. And I think it's streaming on Vimeo. as well as Short of the Week. So if you wanted to check out Mothers and Monsters, or check it out at Short
Yeah,
Fuse.
see it on Short Fuse.
Yeah,
See it on Short
Never
Fuse.
mind,
Short
it
Fuse.
doesn't exist. It's not.
It sounds like this short film festival might have quite a curation.
I know.
It's the only
Might have
chance
quite a
you're
catalog.
ever gonna get to see. What was it called again?
Mothers and Monsters.
Mothers and
Monsters.
Monsters.
Yeah,
You're gonna have to tune into Short Fuse.
Yeah, it's not a
Look for
Vimeo staff
the
thing.
link.
Yeah, exactly. But
Vimeo don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, they don't know. Yeah. But it's a really strong film, and it's one that I think that like filmmakers in general should see, because it shows how like a static camera can do so much. And I know I'm a lover of the static, shot, but I think what the cinematographer was on another level with this one, and all those. Yeah, but anyways, it's something worth watching.
I was gonna say, I thought you had some nice slides in the Watcher.
Oh,
Didn't you have
thank
some slides in there? No,
Yeah,
maybe you didn't. I don't know.
No.
It seemed like you slid a little bit.
Yeah.
We don't talk about another man's slides.
Sorry, man.
Jesus
The Watcher
Christ.
was
What are we?
awesome.
Yeah.
It did
Hey.
slide a little
Yeah,
bit.
not
It
in mixed
slid
company, dude.
A little
Chill.
bit.
No.
Not exactly static.
So with the Watcher, if it's static, it's a shot that I did with the camera, and if it moved, I gave it to Lucia Tarot,
Okay.
and I would say there's movement, move with her. And so if there's movement, that's Lucia, and if it's static, it's something.
See,
else.
that's what I have to
Gotcha,
start
man,
doing.
that's awesome.
We would do less takes if I handed off the movement shots to someone else.
That is true, dude. Maybe that is the trick, right?
See,
I'm a
we're
movement
learning
person.
already. Yeah.
Have a movement person. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can, I think, go on and on about all these great festival films. We're gonna hopefully see more soon.
Yeah.
Well, just real quick, I do have one that I want to talk about. But Nathan, you've mentioned a couple times about your new movie. Where is that on the festival circuit right now?
It's it will be playing at Davy Fest in Salt Lake City, Utah, July 16th, I believe, July 17th. And it was just announced at Davy Fest. So if you go to their website or their Instagram, Davey, Davey Fest, you could probably check out the trailer. I don't know if they have the full selection on their Instagram, but it is on their website. And it's cool because it's a mix of Sundance films. It's a mix of they're a foundation that gives out grants to up-and-coming filmmakers and emerging filmmakers. So it's this really great amalgamation of like Sundance favorites and young filmmakers in Utah making their stuff, and then I think they only select 5 outside of that, and we were lucky to be one of them. And it's a really cool fest. It's screening there. There's 2 others I can't announce like right now, but it was hard, if I have to admit it, like the way of, or if I have to be honest, where like the Watcher and the Methuselah hit real quickly, and with How the Lonely Keep, there's so many nice rejection emails they got for that movie. It's one of those like, we just don't know where to put this. Like it's just like, wow.
But
okay.
So I was lucky enough to see, I don't know if it was an early cut, but you do send out to people that you're connected with, I think, to get feedback or just to take everyone's temperature on it. I found it really haunting, this movie. It really, it's not as, I guess, visceral maybe that's part of it.
Yes.
You don't feel that immediate like visceral like impact of like your other films, but it really lingered for me, this one. It sticks around. So yeah, it'll find its place. I'm sure of it. And it sounds like it's doing well enough anyway. I mean, you're probably being too hard on yourself.
No. And we'll see. And like I told Steven, like the DP, like after we shot it, because I basically shot for 4 hours for 4 weekends. So the whole thing was like shot in 16 hours kind of thing. And I like knew it was kind of its own kind of project. And I told Steven, I'm like, I am so proud of this movie, but it will be playing nowhere. And we both laugh at it in that way. and for me, it's always kind of that project where I love being a producer on films that I know will have a good run and that have this certain energy to them, and I love supporting filmmakers that kind of have that drive. But with me, it's just like I make shit to make shit, and then
Right.
whatever happens happens. And like with How the Lonely Keep, I like knew it was specifically for maybe a few fests, and like I got a free waiver from Sundance, which was cool based on it.
Ooh.
But like that's about you know what you can say about the film right now. But like I'm proud of it. Proud of it.
But you can sniff it out when someone's trying to make a film to impress a certain type of festival audience or to impress anybody. You have to make it for yourself.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
otherwise that shit just is too transparent. The one other movie that I wanted to mention, and again, there's a lot of backlash, I think, to festivals, chatter online amongst independent filmmakers that, oh, our festival's important, should we do them? You know, maybe you do need to take a look at your movie first before you send it out and spend a whole lot of money on fees that, you know, are just going to make you embittered and resentful. There is a level of gatekeeping, I guess, or just sort of filtering that happens through festivals, and they're looking for certain types of things. The one issue that a lot of short films have is that, they're sometimes too long. And you mentioned this earlier, Nathan, too. It's like, how do you program a short film that's, say, over 15 minutes long? You know, it's difficult because the programmers then have to not program as many films.
It has to be really good.
Right. So, you know, I get why there's this narrative out there that it's better to skip festivals and go online. Everything has its own place. It depends on the movie. But here's an anecdote for me, other than all of the examples that we've given so far, of why it's important to go to festivals. So I was at, with our short Guide My Sleigh, at the Crimson Screen Festival in South Carolina. And for the first time, I met Jason Zink, who we've had on our show. And so he directed Looky Loo, which...
Right here.
Yeah, right over here somewhere. I don't know if the camera has it, but we have a poster of it. And Jason is a Hoosier filmmaker. He lives in Lafayette. And so I knew of Jason, but I'd never met him. I'd never gotten to see any of his movies on the big screen. And seeing that film play with a packed audience, totally enraptured, like you could hear a pin drop. They were so locked into it. And then the Q&A went on and on. They finally had to just cut it off because there were other films that had to play. Everyone was just so enraptured by that movie. And as soon as we got into the lobby, I had just met, I think, Jason a couple hours before, you know, hey, nice to meet you. I'm Heath. You know, we know similar people, blah, blah, blah. As soon as that movie ended, I said, we're going to the bar, buddy. I'm buying you a drink. Like, we got to talk about this movie and about what you're doing next, because I was so impressed. And, you know, it's just led to a great friendship and collaboration. His writing partner, Nolan, ended up in our movie, Mr. Cream Jeans, that we're wrapping up and hopefully getting on the festival circuit as well. And it's just like, you know, that is the reason to go to festivals, connect with people, celebrate each other's work. You're going to see some amazing stuff, and you might just, best case scenario, end up with new collaborators. So Looky Loo's a great example. And another festival that's coming up the weekend after yours, Nathan, is Hysteria Fest in St. Louis. So they will be showing their sequel, Looky Loo Part 2, at Hysteria Fest, and I cannot wait to see how that plays with an audience. I've seen it already. It's better than the first one. It's gorier, it's smarter, it's more intense, and that's really saying something because the original is so good. So cannot wait to see that one at Hysteria Fest. So if anybody is going to St. Louis second weekend of July, I'll be there too. Anyway, that's my little plug for that.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen Looky Loo, but I heard of it.
I think you would really dig it. It's found footage. It's a slow burn for sure. It's a little bit of Maniac, but it's a stalker who fancies himself as a filmmaker, and then he keeps escalating. And it's all first person. It's just really
stalker
well done.
Voyeurism,
yeah, and it starts, you know,
innovative shit, dude.
I don't know where I think that one is streaming somewhere. I'm not
well, to
quite
your
sure
point,
where.
right? Just the fact that you met this guy at a festival, a guy who's not but an hour and a half drive from here that we never met. You ended up, you cut the trailer for Looky Loo too, and have been working with them. Right.
That's
so
awesome.
it is one of those, it's like you meet people and you never know what comes of it, right? Just meeting other people who are on this same path, man.
Yeah, it's so true. And we're all, especially the shorts, like not everybody has ambitions to become a filmmaker as a career or as a lifelong pursuit, but a lot of people are. And maybe if you weren't, when you get into those rooms, you start to realize that is what you're passionate about and what you want to do.
It's a possible way to make money.
Well,
that part we haven't figured out at all. Yeah, that part is elusive still. Yeah.
That's why I said possible.
But it is cool.
Some people do it. I keep reading.
It is cool to meet people like Raphael, like Nathan, like Jason, Michelle, all these people that
Ellie Church, who we met with Gush, like just great people you meet.
Actors are not, you see a great actor.
Give a shout out to Gush. How about that?
Yeah. Well,
Gush was amazing.
So we saw Jessa Flux at Genre Blast,
Murder Size,
and 2-3 years later, we're like, we need to have Jessa in our movie because we saw her in that film. So anyway, all these things connect.
Now it's Jessa Flux Cream Jeans.
I don't think that's official yet. We have to go to the name department.
We'll have to run it by her, I guess. But yeah, I think it's pretty dead set.
Oh my God. Anyway, all to say that, it's an opportunity to meet people, potential collaborators, or just friends that are going to rise with you.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important.
Or just people who will fucking cheer you on when you get in those dark filmmaking days, right? Like it can be a lonely, long fucking road at times. And just having people who are cheering you on, or you post like, hey, I'm working on this, and just having people who are like, yeah, fuck yeah, man.
There's so many residual benefits to it. Like, even our relationship with Nathan. Like, Nathan has sent me pitch decks that he's worked on. And I can tell you for sure that I'm going to be implementing a lot of the tactics and skills that, he's found a way to highlight his stories from slideshows. Like, I'm learning from Nathan and learning from all these other filmmakers, and that's just a huge benefit. So it's exciting to see all these people that you meet succeed, and then you can also kind of be a little barnacle too and float up with them.
A little too much lovey-dovey for me, but
well, you already know everything, so this part's not interesting.
It's just like whatever.
Well, that's it. We can stop the slop.
Yeah, let's stop the slop.
Anyway, all right. I guess.
All right, so we'll wrap out here. A lot of fun. We could talk about this for ages, I'm sure. So Nathan, one more time, would you like to tell people where they can find you online and what they need to do to be ready for the festival when it starts on Friday?
Yeah, so you can find me at lonehorsefilms.com. You'll see a bit of the work I've produced, bit of the work I've directed. You could screen The Watcher there, and I believe Methuselah, and the film The Thaw by Sean Temple and Sarah Wisner that I produced. And then for the festival, you'd go to shortfuse.online. And to get the passcode, Crypt TV will be releasing the passcode via their Instagram story, and on July 2nd. So it's only for 24 hours. So once you find the passcode, you can save it and share it. But then it's coming down. And once you have the passcode, you go back to the website, shortfuse.online, and you plug it in. And there's 6 programs that you can watch individually, or you can watch the full 6+ hour event. Which is a wallop of a showcase.
That's a lot of shorts.
Yeah, I know. Sam would have to pee about how many times?
1,000 times.
30
I'm
times?
assuming you can pause it, right? That makes it better than most film festivals.
Hell, dude, watch it on your phone and just watch it while you're peeing.
Watch it as I'm peeing.
You'll get 6 hours just doing that.
Double enjoyment.
But it's cool because we have like an animated block. We have one that's just purely horror. We have one that's like horror comedy, dark comedy. We have one that's primarily every film shot on film, except for one. And
you guys like 8mm in there?
Yep.
All right. It's barely film. But
and then we have one.
Nick Cage disagrees.
A block called "Hold the Phone," and those are like the best of the best. So 44th Chamber of Shaolin is in there. I don't know if you saw When Girls Play Sports, but that is another huge film, a short film that everyone should see.
Hell
it's
yeah.
exceptional. And then there's a new movie by Alexander Sharp, who is an exceptional cinematographer, editor, and director. It's called Thank You, and it might, yeah, it would be in the top 3 favorite shorts I've seen. It's incredible what this guy does. But anyways, there's 6 programs and 6+ hours of content. So, yeah.
Lovely. Well, amazing. So yeah, guys, stay tuned for all that. We'll put any info that we find out. We'll try to link to some of these films in the show notes and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, stay tuned. Crypt TV, Lone Horse Films. Hell, even us, if we get the code, we'll help share it too.
Oh, yeah,
you guys should want to partake in this and see these wonderful films, a celebration of cinema that Nathan has curated for us. Thanks for coming on today, man.
Of course. Thanks for having me, guys. Loved it.
Yeah, a blast as always. So yeah, be on the lookout. Short Fuse Film Showcase, right?
Yeah, Short Fuse Showcase. You got it.
There we go. All right, so stay tuned. We will share any info we have. That starts this Friday. We hope you join in. We hope you watch all the films like Sam while you're peeing and have an absolute great time.